In a move that has shaken the entire NFL landscape, Kansas City Chiefs owner Clark Hunt has officially dismissed the team's head coach. The announcement came without warning, sending shockwaves through both the organization and the fanbase. Just days after growing speculation surrounding internal tensions, the confirmation arrived. A new era is beginning in Kansas City. The timing could not be more surprising, as the team remains in the midst of a competitive season with playoff aspirations still alive. Sources close to the organization described the decision as urgent, emphasizing that Hunt had reached a point where leadership change became unavoidable. Behind closed doors, the atmosphere reportedly grew tense in recent weeks, with disagreements over game strategy, player management, and locker room morale. For years, the Chiefs' stability under consistent leadership was viewed as a model for success. Now, that foundation has fractured, leaving the football world questioning what exactly went wrong and what direction Hunt intends to pursue next in rebuilding the franchise's culture and credibility. Reports began surfacing weeks before the firing, hinting at mounting frustration within Kansas City's executive offices. Multiple insiders revealed growing differences between Clark Hunt and the coaching staff regarding team philosophy and preparation. While the coach remained confident in his methods, several key figures believed the system had grown stagnant. Performance, inconsistencies, and questionable in-game decisions intensified the scrutiny. Meetings that were once routine became strained, with communication breaking down between management and sideline leadership. The relationship that once seemed unshakable slowly deteriorated into silence and avoidance. Analysts point to several critical losses this season that exposed internal dysfunction, with players allegedly sensing the divide long before the public did. For an organization built on discipline and cohesion, this internal rift represented a deep concern. Hunt, known for patience and professionalism, not one to act impulsively, his eventual decision to intervene reflects how serious the internal fractures had become. The firing, though shocking, now appears as the final act in a long brewing conflict between vision and execution. Every franchise reaches a defining moment, and for the Chiefs, that moment arrived after a string of frustrating performances. The team's momentum had begun to fade, and pressure from both fans and media intensified. The head coach, once celebrated for innovation and composure, appeared increasingly defensive in press conferences. Sources inside the facility described mounting disagreements about offensive identity and player utilization. The coach reportedly resisted changes suggested by upper management, determined to protect his approach. That stubbornness, while admirable in some contexts, ultimately alienated key decision-makers. The final trigger reportedly came after an unexpected loss that exposed deep flaws in preparation and adaptability. Within hours of the defeat, discussions accelerated, and Hunt made his choice. The firing was not merely about one game, but about accumulated patterns, missed opportunities, tactical rigidity, and declining locker room morale. For an owner focused on sustaining a championship standard, the conclusion was clear. Leadership had to change before the team's future was permanently compromised. When the news broke, the locker room reportedly fell into stunned silence. Many players had no warning, learning about the firing through alerts and media reports. Some veterans expressed disappointment, while others privately admitted relief, believing the team needed a new voice. The emotional divide reflected the complexity of modern leadership in sports. The dismissed coach had earned immense respect for his past achievements, yet fatigue had set in as younger players struggled to connect with his methods. Team leaders, including several captains, held a private meeting shortly after the announcement to refocus energy on the remainder of the season. Clark Hunt's message to the team was direct: professionalism must prevail despite upheaval. Analysts describe this moment as a test of Kansas City's culture, one that will reveal whether their success relied solely on coaching or on the organization's deeper foundation. In the hours that followed, uncertainty gave way to quiet determination. As players began preparing to move forward under an interim leader, following the firing, the Chiefs quickly named an interim coach, someone already respected within the organization for discipline and adaptability. His appointment aims to stabilize morale and restore focus during a volatile transition. While not a permanent solution, this move reflects Hunt's priority: continuity through change. The interim leader faces immediate challenges, including redefining strategies, regaining player trust, and balancing loyalty to his predecessor with the responsibility to move forward. Early feedback from players has been cautiously optimistic, describing him as approachable and energetic. His first address reportedly centered on unity and accountability. He emphasized that the jersey, not the individual, represents the standard Kansas City must uphold. For an organization accustomed to structure and excellence, his leadership style could prove pivotal in maintaining equilibrium. Still, the pressure is immense. Every game under his guidance will be scrutinized, every decision dissected. His performance may ultimately determine whether he remains a temporary solution or emerges as the next face of Chiefs leadership. The public response has been explosive. Across Kansas City, fans have filled talk shows, online forums, and social platforms with polarized reactions. Some defend Hunt's decision as bold and necessary, citing the team's uneven performance. Others view it as reckless timing that jeopardizes chemistry during a crucial stretch. Media outlets nationwide have amplified the story, with commentators debating whether this marks the end of an era or the start of a renewal. The coach's loyal supporters highlight his past achievements, multiple playoff runs, and the franchise's elevated reputation under his watch. Yet critics argue that recent stagnation justified decisive action. Clark Hunt's reputation as a calm, calculated owner is now being redefined by this moment of assertiveness. Regardless of opinion, one truth stands uncontested: the Chiefs' narrative has shifted overnight. The organization is once again at the center of national attention, not for victories, but for the drama and uncertainty now surrounding its leadership. Behind the immediate shock lies a long-term vision crafted by Clark Hunt. Known for his measured leadership, Hunt's decision reflects not emotion, but strategic recalibration. He has reportedly grown increasingly focused on sustaining excellence through modernization, embracing analytics, adaptability, and innovation. Sources suggest he intends to build a leadership team aligned with these priorities. The firing signals a cultural reset, not merely a reaction to poor results. Hunt believes the Chiefs' next era must be defined by forward-thinking collaboration rather than traditional hierarchy. Financially, the team remains strong, but Hunt understands that complacency can quietly erode dominance. His approach now mirrors what visionary owners across the league have done, choosing uncomfortable change to preserve future success. This move, while painful, could prove transformative if executed with precision. The search for the next head coach is already underway, guided by principles of discipline, creativity, and adaptability. For Hunt, this is more than management, it is stewardship of a legacy built on resilience and renewal. As the interim period begins, the organization's focus quietly shifts toward identifying a permanent replacement. Hunt and the front office have reportedly compiled an early list of candidates ranging from rising coordinators to seasoned veterans with championship experience. Each potential hire must represent more than tactical expertise. Leadership style and cultural fit are now central to the evaluation process. The Chiefs' identity demands someone capable of commanding respect while inspiring innovation. Analysts speculate that several high-profile names are already under discreet observation. The challenge lies in balancing immediate performance with long-term vision. Hunt has insisted that the next coach must understand the modern NFL's complexity, balancing analytics with intuition and structure with flexibility. The decision will define the franchise's trajectory for years to come. With the team still in contention, timing remains crucial. Kansas City cannot afford prolonged uncertainty, yet haste risks another misstep. Every conversation behind closed doors now carries historic weight for the future of Chiefs football. The firing's ripple effect extends far beyond leadership changes. Player morale, locker room hierarchy, and on-field performance all hang in delicate balance. Some veterans may reconsider their future with the franchise, while younger players view this as an opportunity to redefine their roles. Strategic continuity faces disruption, yet moments of crisis often reveal hidden potential. The interim period could expose emerging stars, new schemes, and a revitalized competitive spirit. From a broader perspective, Kansas City now enters a transition that will test its organizational maturity. The franchise's recent success has built expectations of constant excellence, leaving little tolerance for regression. Yet, transitions often breed transformation. The coming weeks will determine whether this moment becomes a setback or a springboard. If managed effectively, it could forge a stronger, more adaptive team, one capable of not only maintaining success, but evolving with the modern game. The path ahead is uncertain, but the potential for reinvention remains immense. Clark Hunt's decision will be remembered as one of the boldest moments in modern Chiefs history. It represents the intersection of ambition, accountability, and the relentless pursuit of excellence. Every great franchise faces such turning points, moments when comfort must yield to conviction. This firing, though controversial, underscores the organization's refusal to settle for mediocrity. Hunt's leadership has never been about reaction, but about foresight. The next months will reveal whether his vision inspires revival or regret. For players, this marks a chance to reaffirm commitment. For fans, a test of faith in the process that built a dynasty. The team stands on the edge of transformation, where uncertainty and opportunity coexist. History will judge this decision not by its shock value, but by what follows. If Kansas City emerges stronger, this moment will symbolize courage under pressure. The Chiefs story now turns a new page, one that could redefine the legacy of both the franchise and its resilient owner.